flask, it looks like. Okay. Now, Shepard may have won the trivia contest here for tonight. Erlenmeyer. Or no, Sven. Okay. Sven was first with the Erlenmeyer flask. Okay. Good job, Sven. Okay. But that's something, collaborate with Heels in Age Vivo. I know he has the website Longevity and things like this. If we can coordinate with some of these other efforts, we can amplify the message and really turn the tables, reach that tipping point where all of a sudden most of the world is thinking about life extension and most of the world knows that it is a reality. It has great potential for the near future. So, I mean, 2009 could be a big year. And, you know, I noticed in 2008 we've had some, I don't know, there's some sort of resistance to getting a big, effective message out into the general public. So perhaps in 2009, with all these different organizations that are collaborating, we can really tip the scales and get things in motion a lot faster, a lot better. So anyway, this concert, the Immortality Institute conference, and SENS 4 in Cambridge, I was hoping perhaps they could all occur fairly in the same time period, because I can only make one trip to Europe next year. But I plan on coming over to Europe, either for the concert, for SENS 4, or for the Imminence Conference, and hopefully all three are within 1 week or 10 days. Because I can take 10 days off and come to Europe and do all this stuff and have fun. My wife always has always wanted to go to Europe. So I plan on being there and hope to drag a whole bunch of people with me too. And if we can plan, SENS 4 is the one thing that has a firm date already, which is September 3rd through September 7th. Now perhaps the weekend before SENS, we could have a one-day Immense conference and the Life Aid concert for life extension. The life concert, you know what I'm talking about. So we need to coordinate on that. That is another big thing that we could do in 2009. And speaking of collaborating with other organizations, same thing with M-Theory, the Methuselah Foundation Undergraduate Research Initiative. In 2008, that organization started up, and the Immortality Institute was one of the first organizations there to support them and start doing research. A lot of the members, of course, Sven and Johan and Chris Norwood, already leading the way, leading the charge in undergraduate research. So I was hoping that in 2009 we could again collaborate more with M-Theory and help out with some of their research on their project. We already provided $2,000 worth of scholarship money, and then we might even be able to help guide those students and help them with their project. I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm talking about. And then Eric in the chat also mentioned a collaboration perhaps with Novamente. In case you didn't see the thread in the forums, when I had Ben Gertzel on as a guest a couple weeks ago, hey, great guest, by the way. Boy, he sure knows his stuff about artificial intelligence. He mentioned that what we really need, I asked him why artificial intelligence isn't being used for life extension research. And he says, well, we do have narrow AI that is available that could help out, but what we need is some sort of filtering and some sort of collating of data. There's a ton of biological data out there, right? From experiments that are occurring every day and research that has occurred in past years. But this data needs to be put in a format that a narrow AI can analyze, like Novamente's BioMind, right? They've done a couple of projects already where they've come up with some great insights into genetics and metabolism and stuff like that. But they couldn't interest pharmaceutical companies into doing more research, you know, paying for more research. But perhaps the Immortality Institute can get together with Novamente and bring in, start formalizing some of these data sets, put it in BioMind, and then allow researchers to go to town. You know, just start using, the more data sets that go in there, the more relationships perhaps we can find between different genes, different gene expression and metabolism and diseases. You know, but that's a big project, and we're going to need volunteers. We're going to need, or we need some grant money. That would be nice. Maybe we can write a grant to get some sort of bioinformatics, you know, program going. I know Maestro and DNA Mechanic and some others have been talking about that quite a bit. Bioinformatics, something that's very important for the near future. Handling all of this massive volume of data that's coming down the pike from all the research. It's difficult for scientists to know, to keep track of it all. So perhaps that's something we can get grant money for. We can pay some students to sit down and go through all of that mind-numbing reams and reams of data and disks of data and get it formalized for... all right, hold on. Kismet has trouble. The video's not working on his computer. Seems like it's working for everyone else. Otherwise, I think I would have gotten some complaints already. But that's perhaps something I can improve on the show in 2009. I'm unsure. I can up my... I'm only running uploading speed right now is only 500 megabytes, I think. Megabits per second on my current internet setup. But perhaps I can get bumped up to a gigabyte upload on my internet. That is a possibility for 2009. As long as the economy doesn't tank and I lose my job or anything like that, which is a possibility. I mean, things aren't going good right now, but let's hope for the best. Okay, let's see. So, collaboration with other organizations, Immense Conference, better Sunday evening update, and folded bigger, better folding at home prize. You know it. Another thing we were talking about today, I know Jeremy got in on that conversation a little bit, is improving the forum data management, getting the wiki going a bit more at the Institute. That's another thing in 2009 I think would be very valuable. Every year, just like everyone suggests a new name change for the Institute, someone suggests that we need to organize the forums a little bit better and get the valuable data out of the forums and presented to the public in an easily digestible way. And the wiki that we have could be extremely valuable. It could be the best life extension wiki on the planet or in the solar system. I couldn't say in the galaxy because who knows what other life forms are out there, but at least in the solar system, the best wiki on life extension. But obviously it takes time to get all that data, all the good conversation, all the good points, all the good research out of the forums and into the wiki. But we could make some Drupal pages as well that display some of this information. So that's an annual thing. Members say, oh gosh, we need to distill all the good information out of the forums and make it easier and more accessible to the general public. Yep, I know. That's something we have to do. But, that's something, hopefully, when we get some new directors coming in, new navigators, get people working together, it's just something that we need to get together. But, oh yeah, since this is a year-end show, if you have any more ideas, I know Eric, as he's been talking in the chat here, you probably all know as well that Eric has a huge bullet list of ideas on how to promote life extension, promote the Immortality Institute, and such things. Okay, and there's a link. Eric, he promotes it everywhere. He's got a Google Doc with all the lists of things to do. So that's another thing we could be doing. Hey, it's the end of 2008. I want to give out a whole bunch of thank yous before I wrap up the show here, or before we get talking on a couple of other ideas. If anyone has any other ideas for the Institute in 2009, I covered most of them here, the big ones anyway. Thank you to Richard Leese. Richard Leese is stepping down from being a director, unfortunately, because he's a fabulous director and he's been a great treasurer. And I wanted to get this thank you down, recorded for all the world to see for the future. Richard has done a wonderful job as a director and the de facto accountant for the organization. But he has some other things going on, some other career opportunities, and I wish him the best. And he's going to help us transition to a new treasurer and help us wrap up all the data from 2008. So thank you, Richard. Thank you, Jeremy Shepard, our chief navigator, who happens to be watching the show tonight. Yes, Jeremy has took on the role of chief navigator this year, and I didn't even have to beg for him to take on the role. I said, hey, could you please step in? And he sure did, and did a fine job. I mean, the forms at the Immortality Institute can be